This message is for Andrea. Hi, sorry I look terrible. Didn't put makeup on. Have my big age spot here, but I'm on my first cup of coffee, and I just want to tell you, Andrea. Andrea is a sub of mine. She's kind of new sub, I think. She bought Tilly. Did you buy Tilly? Yeah, you bought Tilly. But I want to tell you, Andrea. I know you're moving and it's really hard to move. It is so, besides a death in the family, the number one stressor for people is moving. Okay? Why? Because you got to pack up and you're going through old memories and you got to have money and you got to have energy and you're in a different place and you don't know where your things are and you don't know where you're going, if it's going to be better where you're going, and it's really, really scary. So I just want to tell you a little experience that me and Devin had. I lived in Staten Island, New York my whole life, right? Till age 52. And then we got married, but we still didn't live together. I lived in my apartment. He lived in his house with his two teenage kids. So there was a lot of things going on. So I stayed, we were married in July 2015. I went back to after the honeymoon, I went back to my apartment. He stayed with me maybe 2 days, and then he went back to his house because he had teenage kids. And he had 3 dogs. Well, actually, I had one of the dogs since 2012, Cleo. But he had 2 dogs, 2 cats.
I had to marry you back.
Yeah, 2 turtles. He said he had to marry me, otherwise I wouldn't have given Cleo back. That's a true story. But we had to get ready to dismantle my apartment, which you would think that would be easy. It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. And he had a whole house, which was really hard. And we had to pack up the houses, and I had to get out of my apartment by September. So I didn't go with him. I went with my sister Patricia because my sister Patricia had an apartment. And I could go there, live with her. So we had to put everything in storage. We had to hire a company that came to pick up my whole apartment and put it in storage somewhere in Jersey. And I was living in New York, Staten Island, New York. And then put my whole contents of my apartment, it was labeled and stuff. It was so stressful. It was thousands of dollars, and put that in storage. Then after that, go live with my sister with my dog Cleo, and she had the full apartment, so it was nice. But Devin was still dismantling his house, and he still had his kids. Then slowly but surely, now, so that was July we got married. We didn't start doing all of this until September because there was a chance I was going to go back to work. And he had retired, but I was only 52. He was 55. So I was thinking maybe I could make some more money and just go back to work for a year. But then I couldn't think about ever being away from him. Newly married, I was already away from him by not living with him right away. So, plus we went out for 5 years. So it's not like, I was like, we're not getting any younger. This is weird. So I decided to resign from my job. Went to my sister Patricia's, and then every day he would come visit, or every other day he would visit, but he had so much to do to dismantle his house. And then his kids went and lived with their mother. We invited them to live with us, move with us, and they didn't want to at first. So, his son eventually came to live with us like 9 months later. But at first they moved in with their mom in Jersey. Sorry, I have some sort of allergy situation going on. Stuffed up nose. So, after the reason why I'm telling you this, and this message is for Andrea, who's moving from Tennessee to Michigan, and I have a good friend. Her name is MB. I call her MB, but her name is Donna. She moved from New York to Florida, and then from Florida to Michigan. and she was living in a car for like 2 years. She couldn't find housing in Florida, apartments in Florida. So she finally got to Michigan, and it was in a snowstorm, and it was terrible, and it took so long, right? But she got there, and she's safe now. Okay, so there is always hope. And that's what I'm trying to tell you with my story. And I don't want to make this long, but I just wanted to give you hope that we had to have like 4 trucks to come get the contents of, one truck was for my house, my apartment, right? And 1 truck was for his. No, 2 trucks or 3 trucks. How many trucks did you have at your house? He just kept getting trucks.
All I know is I had heart surgery when I got here, so it's
Yeah. Yeah, it was very stressful because he doesn't like to give away or get rid of anything. So he wanted to take the contents of his house. All right, so anyhow, we had to buy a house, and we were still looking. Like a few months before that, we didn't secure this house until September. That's why we didn't move here until October, because we got married in July. We still didn't have a house here. And we were going to move in with his brother so that we could just look. And I was like, please, dear God, because I didn't want that situation. You know, his brother does have a house, but I wanted to move in to my own house. So, or we were thinking about apartments as well. But anyhow, we found the house when we, because we would fly down and search, or we would drive down and search. And then my sister would have to watch my dog, and his ex-wife actually watched his kids watched their animals. Anyway, everything worked out, but it seemed all mixed up. But the way we had to get down here when we finally left, we drove our van, but I had my car, and I had to pay $1,000 for that to be transferred, and it didn't come for like a month or 2. And that was, it was even like $1,500 to bring my car, my SUV, all the way to Texas. So that was another $1,500 I had to come up with, and my car was dented, and then my car got totaled by a drunk driver about a year after I was here, year, maybe 2 years. So that call went bye-bye. Anyhow, we had all these animals, so we had to get a company that took 2 dogs, Meadow and Nena, but we had to keep Cleo because Cleo was like a bulldog, and she was my bulldog, and she was not healthy. She was like, had back and hip problems, and she's just my baby. So she had to come in the van with us. So we had 2 cats. One of the cats was sickly, so we had to take Cleo, and we had to take Raven because we didn't think Raven would make the trip. The vet actually said, Raven's not going to make the trip. Well, Raven shocked everybody. Yeah. Raven lived to age 19, and she had eye infection when we left New York. She had eye infection. She was like about 4 pounds. Yes. And she had all these problems. Then when we pulled up here we stayed at a hotel, and she was in her little, whole pet holder, and she was like crying and stuff and looking out because she missed her brother. Her brother, Ripples, went in the van. We had a rabbit. All right, this is what we had. We had 3 dogs, 2 cats, 2 turtles, and a rabbit, a crazy ass rabbit. So we only got to take Cleo, the dog, and Raven, the sickly cat, in our van. And then we had to hire for $5,000 a guy from Boston that comes to pick up your animals and will drive them to whatever spot. But he doesn't just go straight from wherever you live to the spot. He took about 5 to 7 days, babe.
Yeah.
Our pets were with him for like 5 to 7 days. We were already here.
The rabbit tortured him.
Yeah, the rabbit tortured him because the rabbit, Mr. Pickles, he was nuts. He was nuts, Mr. Pickles. He could just take the whole van down. But anyway, I was like, where are our pets? No, this guy went all across the United States picking up animals and dropping off and picking up. And so by the time we got our pets, they were skinny. They look sickly, right?
Yeah, they
They didn't look good at all.
Neither did the guy that traveled with him because the rabbit almost made him cry.
Yeah, and he left out of here like he ran. He left his stuff. Remember, he left his stuff.
First thing off his little bus there was the rabbit.
Yeah. Yeah, our rabbit, Mr.
who
Pickles,
was
he rested in
with,
peace now. But
liquid death and got up and jumped out of the box and was made
the rabbit just died last year, or this year. The rabbit just literally died. We don't even know how old the rabbit was because he came to us and he was already used. You know, he was already alive with like 2 other families. So nobody knew how old he was. But anyway, my point is that we got here. We had like 3 trucks that were unloading. It was so stressful. We started to argue and, right? We had a fight and I was like, why did I do this? This is so ridiculous. And the amount of boxes that, forget about finding the coffee maker, even though I labeled everything, we couldn't find the boxes because we have 2-car garage and it looks like we just moved in because they're still in there. A lot of stuff is in there. But my point is, there'll come a day where you're just in the apartment. You will get in and you'll be surrounded by boxes, but you'll know every day, even if you just unboxed 1 box, right? There's 7 days a week. That means 7 boxes will be done by Sunday. But once you do 1 box, you'll do 2 boxes at least. And some days I would take off from unboxing, but your main thing is kitchen and, you know, medications and bathroom. But you always carry your medications with you in your own bag. But kitchen stuff, make sure you label that good because that has to be unraveled. And then bathroom. But bathroom isn't even as important because you could always run and get a toothbrush and toothpaste. Anyhow, I just wanted to give you hope that you will get there. If I can me and Devin could condense 2 houses, an apartment and a house, live with my sister Patricia, then drive, make sure that the cars were being sent over, make sure that the trucks would pick up, because remember, we dismantled the houses and then Devin didn't sell his house right away. We had to move out here without him selling the house. So we basically didn't even have the money. And there was so many things, and his pension didn't come in. So there was so many things that went wrong. Then he did have a heart attack. Okay. But that was a year later, wasn't it?
Didn't matter. The damage was done.
Actually, yeah, it was it's not because of the move, it was because he was born with everybody has the 5 vessels. Well, his like 5th vessel was not connected to anything. So it was a congenital problem. So he had to get bypass surgery. Anyway, my point is, with all those trucks,
You're really making her feel good for this.
I know. Well, you're the one who said the thing about the heart. Plus, so that's what I did. I sat with boxes surrounding me, but it was my 14th move. It was only Devin's like 2nd move, but it was my 14th move. And I said, I'm not going to do this again. It's very overwhelming, but it will happen. So what you say to yourself is, I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm settled in my apartment and I have air conditioning and I have nice water and I am safe and I am home. I'm so happy and grateful, you know, whatever it is, but act as if, and then close your eyes and visualize you in your apartment, okay, of choice. Visualize you, you know, with your things that you want around you. Visualize you looking at your cat and showing your cat the rooms in your home, okay? So I just wanted you to know that, and I'm sorry it took me so long. But remember, I moved 5 animals, 3 dogs, 2 cats, and 2 turtles. Oh, more than 5. 3 dogs, 2 cats, 2 turtles, and 1 rabbit, a crazy rabbit. And me and him, and we had to move a lot of stuff for his son because his son was eventually coming here, so we needed to bring some of his stuff. But you know what? We did it. So you could do it too. My friend did it. My friend did it from Florida to Michigan, and it was really stressful. And she had very bad weather, and but she's there. She's there now, and every day I tell her, just unbox at least 1 box. But she said she got pretty much every day she did the boxes because she's very organized. Every day she did the boxes until they were done. So I hope this helps and it didn't confuse you. Anyway, I love you. Namaste.